The Black Beast, he steps up once again against Bam Bam, Tai Tuivasa. Number 3 versus number 11. You rarely see a fight like this take place, man, where Derek Lewis has everything to lose and Tai Tuivasa has literally everything to gain. Except you're stepping in against Derek Lewis, which probably got to be one of the scariest things one man could possibly do in his lifetime. However, minus 190 favorite is Lewis plus 160 for Tuivasa. The odds are a little closer than I thought, man. I thought Lewis would be a bigger favorite. And I just want to say that my whole entire rationale between this fight, AJ, is listen, I'm sorry. I love Bam Bam, all that good stuff, right? Besides Cyril Gane, who has been able to give Derek Lewis any trouble besides Cyril Gane and Alexander Volkov? Who's been able to give the man any trouble in any fashion, hurt him, anything? It's hard to name. It's hard to name somebody up bad.
Alir Latifi.
But come on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
That's grasping at straws right there.
You feel me? So, like, the point that I have here is that in terms of, like, Derek Lewis has knocked out just about fucking everybody in his path, right? He's the knockout king, 21 knockouts in his 26 career victories. He's been knocked out 5 times, stopped 5 times really is what I should say, right? 1 submission loss, 2 decision losses. But Cyril Gane is kind of that cloth of like, I'm going to, play combos. I'm going to be in and out and I'm going to be able to play that game and not get hurt because I'm going to sprint away as soon as you start throwing the bombs, right? Tai Tuivasa is not necessarily that same fighter. We learned Chris Daukaus tried it. Didn't really work out, brother. You try to step in there with the flame Bam Bam has the power. He has all of the power, right? But does he have Derek Lewis power?
Ooh, very close. Maybe the closest we've seen. I don't know though, man, because I'd give Derek Lewis the power advantage for sure, but not by as big of a margin as people are thinking, man. Bam Bam got them mallets for hands.
Let's look at the last 5. How about we do that, right? For Bam Bam, right? We got Sergey Spivak. He loses. He gets, you know what I mean? He gets humped on the ground, second round submission, done. Stefan Struve knocks him out, right? That's the tower or whatever we call him, right? All right, right on, man. Harry Hunsucker. Are we counting this? Are we really counting that? First round TKO. Okay. Greg Hardy, after getting hurt himself, comes back and, you know what I mean? Gets Greg Hardy out of there. Cool. Augusto Sakai, he gets him out of there. Augusto Sakai, he's just had a rough as of late, man. He's never really been able to get started, all that good stuff. Derek Lewis, unanimous decision win against Alir Latifi. He knocks out Alexei Oleinik, knocks out Curtis Blades, loses to Cyril Gane, and then knocks out Chris Daukaus. So in a top 5 strength of schedule, you got to give that to Derek Lewis, right? If you look at his overall career, you clearly give it to Derek Lewis. It's not even a question right there, man. Because when we're talking about knockout wins over, like I said, Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, he got the win against Ngannou, but that was what it was. We'll just put that for that, man. So literally, it goes Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou are the hardest punchers in the world right now. It feels like, you know what I mean? Bam Bam, he's up there, but like I said, it's disrespectful to even say that. Like Derek Lewis will just touch you and put you out. Bam Bam, he got to at least hit you with a couple. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, AJ. Does Bam Bam do what he stereotypically does, where he says, I want to own the center of the cage. I'm going to play my game. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to throw combos, clinch up, do all of that good stuff, get back out, reset, play the game again. Crazy power and speed for a heavyweight, solid chin, but the punches and bunches is what scares me, brother, because you can't do punches and bunches against Derek Lewis. You try, but if he opens up and he catches you, I mean, it's good. It's night. This is basically the Chris Daukaus fight all over again. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, honestly, man, I think Tai Tuivasa doesn't stray too far from his plan because he's been doing that since he's a 3-year-old. He's been walking forward, trying to bang in the streets, and that's exactly what he's going to come in and do. Stay on that front foot, but I agree with you. Those punches and bunches are going to be where it gets dangerous because all it takes is just a clip. Derek Lewis using your energy against you, and he just catches you on the chin with something clean. Next thing you know, your head's in the stands. He's celebrating, bounding on the ground, humping the ground, doing his whole thing. That's exactly what you don't want for Tai Tuivasa. But Tai Tuivasa can get it done, man. If he plays it just a little bit smarter than just reckless, and just by a little bit, there's not much room for margin right here, man. Margin for error, I'm going to phrase it, because Derek Lewis is very dangerous. But I do think Tai Tuivasa stays on that front foot, stays aggressive. Hopefully doesn't have as long of combos, because that's where he's a little bit more dangerous. But if he's able to get things going, hit 1, 2, 3, bounce out, come back in for some more combos, bounce out and get away, it's going to be a better fight for him. Definitely a scary opponent right here, man. I had a very hard time choosing who's going to win this one.
Brother, I need to ask you just this because I'm just, I visualize fights in my head. I'm sure you do the same thing when you're kind of playing it out like, all right, how would this fight happen? Just explain to me, please. Like Tai Tuivasa, he gets the center of the cage. Does he walk Derek Lewis down? You know, you think Derek Lewis is just gonna be like, all right, I'm just gonna sit back? You know, Derek Lewis is willing to be a low volume fighter to just get that one shot. But like, does he walk Lewis down and then just start putting punches on him? Does Derek Lewis is he just gonna shell up? Like, is that like how you're envisioning the fight? Because to me, I don't see it that way. I see it where he does the possum, lets Tai Tuivasa come in and then explodes and just says like, listen, brother. And then Tai Tuivasa is probably gonna have to be tentative, and then it's gonna be tentative between the two. But Derek Lewis, man, if he comes out the way he did against Chris Daukaus, where he just like chill, 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 and explode, man. Literally, it takes just one, man. So I'm just having a hard time. Like, no disrespect, because I love Bam Bam. I do think that if he wins this fight, brother, he's on top of the world. Like, you took a massive leap. You're talking about a title shot next. However, I just think that the skill sets are a little bit different, man. And I think that is as admirable as this is of a fight to take for Tai Tuivasa, and he does have a good chance of winning. It's a heavyweight fight, so one shot ends it all for both of these fighters. I think Derek Lewis, man, nobody has really been able to give him trouble. Like when Cyril Gane beat him, it was like a fatigue thing. It wasn't like oh, I'm really hurt, like I can't fight anymore. He said it himself. He was like, yeah, bro, I was just fucking gassed out. I had nothing left. How do you see it?
Man, so I see it basically the same way you do. I think Ty is going to come out on the front foot. Derek's going to be kind of lulling him in, and then he's going to hit that blitz. And when Derek Lewis hits that blitz, it's when he's most dangerous. So I definitely see that coming for him. But Bam Bam, if he's able to play it smart and he can, find something too where he uses Derek Lewis's momentum against him, I don't know if we'll see a knockout. We might, who knows, especially with two big boys in there. It's kind of hard to not choose a knockout, but we've seen it happen in the past. So, man. Do I see this as a one-sided Tai Tuivasa walking him down the entire fight where Derek Lewis is playing possum the entire time? No. But I do see that at the start and then a little bit more tentative after that once one person starts landing a little bit more bombs.
Okay. I mean, it'll be interesting either way, man. It's going to be a very fun fight. But I'll tell you, I'm going to roll with the Black Beast right here, brother. I'm going Derek Lewis, and I'm going to take the under. The under is 1.5 rounds here. I think Derek Lewis gets the job done via knockout against Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa. This is going to be fire versus fire, brother. Bam Bam has no choice but to step in the pocket and trade if he wants to get a dub, and someone's getting knocked out. I don't care who it is. Somebody's getting knocked out. If this fight goes to a decision, brother, are we not all going to be let down? You know what I mean?
They will be maybe not as let down as Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou, but right about there, literally right about there, man. Someone's going to sleep in this fight. Either way, it's going to be two big boys fighting in a phone booth. It's what we love to see. Yeah. I'm a little surprised about the round one knockout. Not going to lie to you, Derek. That's a ballsy call on your part, man. But I do think a knockout's going to happen. Absolutely. And I'm actually going contrarian, man. I'm going with the underdog on this one. Very rarely, it hurts me to go against the Black Beast, but I'm doing it for Bam Bam. I'm doing it for the Cuppy. I'm doing it for Tai Tuivasa, man. I'm going KO round 3. I think it's going to be a fun fight. It's this one, like I said, folks, this one is very hard to choose against. One of these dudes is going to be leaving consciousness. Do you put any thought, any hesitation into the fact that Tai Tuivasa was all game plan? We're standing and banging. We're knocking each other out. Derek Lewis come back and says, you never know, when the doors close, I might wrestle. Do you put any thought into that?
No, not at all. I think he just says nonsense, you know what I mean, in the beginning of the fight. He's a funny guy, you know what I mean? He's a goofy guy. What I do put stock in is, are we forgetting that this man is fighting in Houston, in his hometown, brother? Like, did we forget about that? You know what I'm saying? He dropped his last one.
Coming off an L?
He dropped his last one to Cyril Gane in Houston. He's coming back. You think he's just going to sit there and have another shit performance? Like, I really doubt it, man. And I'm banking on it, so I will be betting money 190 on Derek Lewis for a knockout victory. And listen, man, he's fighting in Houston, hometown favorite. So if it does go to a decision, I talked about the fishy judging earlier, man. You got to put that into account if it does go to the judges. But I do think Derek Lewis is going to come out motivated, strong. He doesn't have the same pressure because it's not fighting for a championship, not an interim belt or anything like that. This is just a scrap. This is a good old scrap. And these are two dudes who are down to scrap. Like Bam Bam, the one edge that I do give is that it seems like he would fight. I mean, maybe not a Derek Lewis, but it's like he'd be like, oh, you want to fight at the bar? Like, all right, whatever, let's scrap. You know what I mean? Like, he's down. Like, he's game. He's a homie like that. You know what I'm saying? So it should be a very, very fun fight. I think it's going to be a short fight, though. So, like I said, that's the pick on the co-main.